Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of our English podcast. I'm your host, Mr. J, and as always, I am joined by the very energetic and wonderful May. How are you today, May? Ready to work?
Hi, Mr. J. I am doing great, thank you. Am I ready to work? Well, I have my coffee in my hand, so now I am officially ready. I'm so excited about today's topic because we are talking about real office English.
Yes, this is a very important topic. Many of our listeners learn English from textbooks. They learn phrases like, "How do you do?" or "I am fine, thank you." But May, when you walk into your office in the morning, do you ever say, "How do you do?" to your boss?
Oh, never. If I said, "How do you do?" my boss would think I'm from a black and white movie. In a real office, especially these days, we use much simpler and faster English. We want to be friendly, but we also want to be quick because everyone has a lot of work to do.
Exactly. The office is a busy place, so let's start at the very beginning, the moment you walk through the door. In a textbook, you might learn, "Good morning," and that's okay, it's polite. But to sound more natural, what do you usually hear, May?
Most people just say morning and they say it with a big smile. Or they might say, "Hi everyone, how's it going?" How's it going is probably the most common thing you will hear in any office. It just means, how are you? But it feels much more relaxed and friendly.
I say that at least 10 times every morning. How's it going? How's it going? And the answer is usually just as short. You can say, "Good, thanks. You?" Or, "Not bad, staying busy."
Staying busy. That's a very honest answer for an office. Another thing I notice is that people love to talk about the morning itself. They might ask, "How was your commute?" or "How was the drive-in?"
That's a great point. The commute just means the journey from your home to your office. In big cities, the commute is often a nightmare because of the traffic. So if someone asks, "How was the drive-in?" they're being friendly. You can say, "Oh, the traffic was terrible today," and they will understand you completely.
Yes, everyone loves to complain about traffic. It's the perfect way to start small talk. Small talk is those short, friendly conversations we have before we start our real work. And where's the best place for small talk, Mr. J?
It has to be the coffee machine or the office kitchen. I think the coffee machine is the heart of the office. While you are waiting for your coffee to be ready, you have about 2 minutes to chat. I usually see a coworker and say, "Busy day ahead?" or "Big day today?"
I love those phrases. Busy day ahead. It shows that you know they have work to do, but you're still being nice. And if it's a Monday, everyone asks the same question. Did you have a good weekend? Or do anything fun over the weekend?
Yes, Mondays are all about the weekend. And on Fridays, it's the opposite. We ask, "Any big plans for the weekend?" It's like a cycle. But May, what if you are a little bit late? Sometimes the alarm doesn't go off or the bus is late. What do you say when you finally get to your desk?
Oh, I hate being late, but it happens. I don't say I am sorry for being late. That sounds a bit like a school student. Instead, I say, "Sorry, I'm running a bit behind today," or "Sorry, I got caught in traffic."
Running a bit behind. That is a very professional way to say you are late. It sounds like you're already working, but just a little bit slower than you wanted. It's a very useful phrase for our listeners to remember.
Definitely. And once you're at your desk, the small talk usually ends and the real work begins. Your coworker might turn to you and say, "Hey, do you have a second?"
Do you have a second? This is so common. It doesn't mean 1 second. It usually means, "Do you have 5 minutes to talk about something?" It's a very polite way to ask for help or to start a quick meeting.
Yes, a second is never just a second in the office, but it's much better than saying, "I want to talk to you now." It gives the other person a choice.
True. So we've walked in, we have our coffee, we have finished our small talk, and now we're sitting at our desks. The day is starting, and the first thing on the schedule is usually a meeting.
Oh, meetings. I have a love-hate relationship with meetings, Mr. J. In textbooks, you might see a sentence like, "The chairperson will now commence the meeting." But if I said that in our conference room, my coworkers would probably laugh at me. It's just too formal for a modern office.
You're right. Commence is a very fancy word, but we almost never use it. Usually the person in charge will just look at everyone and say, "Okay guys, let's get started." Or if they want to be a bit more fun, they might say, "Let's get the ball rolling."
Let's get the ball rolling. I love that phrase. It sounds so active, doesn't it? It just means let's start the activity or the meeting. And if someone is a few minutes late, we don't say, "We are awaiting Mr. Smith." We usually say, "Let's give John another minute to join us," or "Let's wait for everyone to get settled."
Exactly. Get settled means to sit down, open your notebook, and be ready to listen. Once the meeting starts, the boss might want to know about a project. They won't say, "Please provide a detailed report on your progress." Instead, they'll look at you and say, "May, can you give us a quick update on the marketing project?"
Give us an update. That is such a common phrase. It's very simple. It just means tell us the news about what you are doing. And if things are going well, I don't say the project is proceeding according to the initial schedule. I just say everything is on track.
On track. That's a perfect office phrase. It means everything is following the plan. But May, what if there is a problem? In the office, we try to be positive, even when things are difficult. So instead of saying, "We have a big, terrible problem," what do we say?
We use softer words. We might say, "We have a bit of a challenge," or "We've hit a small snag." A snag is like a small problem that stops you for a moment. It sounds much less scary than a disaster. And if we don't know the answer right now, we say, "I'll look into it and get back to you."
I'll look into it. That's a great way to say I will find the information. And get back to you means I will talk to you later with the answer. Another thing that happens in meetings is when two people start talking about something that is not for everyone. The boss might say, "Let's take this offline."
Take this offline. That sounds so technical, but it just means let's talk about this privately after the meeting so we don't waste everyone's time now. It's a very polite way to stop a long conversation that isn't helping the whole group.
It really is. And speaking of talking later, one of my favorite office phrases is touch base. I might say, "May, let's touch base after lunch to talk about the budget." It sounds so much friendlier than, "I require a meeting with you at 1 p.m."
Definitely. Touch base just means to have a short conversation to check on something. And if we need to talk about something we discussed before, we say, "I want to circle back to what you said earlier." Circle back is like a loop. You are going back to an old topic.
These phrases, on track, look into it, take it offline, touch base, and circle back, are the bread and butter of office English. If you use them, you will sound like you have worked in an office for years.
Bread and butter. You're using idioms now, Mr. J, but you're right. It's all about the vibe. And the vibe in a meeting is often about speed. We use acronyms too. If something is very important, my boss might send me an email saying, "I need this ASAP."
ASAP, as soon as possible. But we often just say the letters, ASAP. Or another common one is EOD. I need that report by EOD.
EOD means end of day. Usually that means before you go home around 5 or 6 p.m., it gives you a clear deadline without being too aggressive. But you know, Mr. J, after the meeting is over, that's when the real doing starts. We have to actually sit down and finish the tasks.
True. And that's when the office gets a bit quieter. Everyone's focused. But then you might need a coworker's help with something specific. You don't want to be annoying, so how do you ask them for help while they're working?
That is such a good question, Mr. J. Interrupting someone while they're working can be a bit scary. You don't want to be the annoying person at the office. Usually, if I see my coworkers wearing headphones, I know they're in the zone. That means they're very focused. I try not to bother them then. But if I really need help, I'll stand near their desk, not too close, and wait for them to look up. Then I'll say, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but do you have a quick second?"
Do you have a quick second? That's perfect. It sounds so much better than, "I need help now." Another one I use a lot is, "Can I grab you for a minute when you're free?" This is great because it gives them a choice. They can say, "Sure, right now is fine," or "I'm right in the middle of something. Can we talk in 10 minutes?"
Exactly. And if I need their opinion on an idea, I use a very common office phrase, Can I pick your brain? It sounds a bit strange when you think about it, but it just means, can I ask for your expert advice or your thoughts on this?
Pick your brain. It's a classic. And when you are working together on a document or a project, you might ask, May, do you have any thoughts on this? Or what's your take on this? It's a very natural way to ask for feedback. You don't have to say, please provide me with your professional opinion regarding this matter.
No, that's way too long. Any thoughts is so much faster. And if I agree with your idea, I can say, I'm on board with that. It means I agree or I support that idea. It's like we are all on the same boat, moving in the same direction.
I love that. I'm on board. But May, sometimes we are the ones who are too busy. If a coworker asks for help and I have 10 emails to finish and a report due in an hour, I might say, I'd love to help, but I'm a bit swamped right now. We talked about swamped in our last episode, but it's worth saying again because we use it every day.
Oh, definitely. Swamped, buried, or snowed under. We have so many words for being busy. If I'm snowed under, I might tell my coworker, can we circle back to this later this afternoon? Or I might say, let's touch base tomorrow morning when things are a bit quieter.
Circle back and touch base. There they are again. They're everywhere in the office. Another thing people say when they are very busy is, I have a lot on my plate. It's like being at a buffet and your plate is so full that you can't fit any more food on it.
I feel like I have a big plate every Tuesday. And when we are collaborating, sometimes we need to send a quick message. In the office, we often use apps like Slack or Teams. We don't write long, formal emails to the person sitting next to us. We just send a ping. I might message you, Mr. J, and say, hey, I'll ping you the link to the file.
I'll ping you. That's very modern. It just means I will send you a quick digital message. Now, May, let's talk about something that happens every day. Feedback. If you finish a task and show it to your boss, they might say, this looks great, but can you tweak this part a little bit?
Tweak. That's a good word for beginners to learn. It means to make a very small change to make something better. It's not a big redo, just a small tweak. And once you make that tweak, you might send it back and say, I've updated the file. Let me know if that works for you.
Let me know if that works for you. That's so much more common than, please inform me if this is satisfactory. It's friendly, and it invites the other person to give their opinion.
Exactly. We want to sound like teammates, not robots. Working together is all about being clear, but also being kind. And that includes when we move toward the end of the day. You know, around 4 p.m. or 4:30 p.m., the energy in the office changes. People start finishing their tasks and looking at the clock.
It's true. That's when we start wrapping things up. We aren't starting new big projects, we're just finishing the small things. And that brings us to the final part of our workday.
Yes, the best part of the day, going home. But before we leave, there are still a few real English things we need to say to our coworkers and our boss.
Let's dive into that in our final section.
Finally, my favorite part of the day. It's 4:45 p.m. and I can feel the energy in the room changing. Everyone is typing a little bit faster because they want to finish their last email. Mr. J, what is the first thing you say when you are almost done?
I usually look at my watch and say, okay, I'm just wrapping things up for the day. This is such a great phrase. Wrapping up is like putting a gift in a box and tying a ribbon on it. It means you are finishing the final small details of your work. You aren't starting anything new, you are just finishing what you started.
I love that. And another one I hear a lot is, I'm just tying up some loose ends. This is a bit like wrapping up. Loose ends are those tiny tasks that are not finished yet. Maybe a quick phone call or a short message. Once those are tied up, you are free to go.
Exactly. And then the most famous office phrase of all time, let's call it a day. This is what the boss says when the team has worked hard and it's time to stop. It doesn't mean the work is 100% finished forever. It just means we're stopping for today and we will continue tomorrow.
Let's call it a day. I always smile when I hear that. It's like music to my ears. But what if you are the one leaving early? Maybe you have a doctor's appointment or you need to pick up your kids. You don't just disappear. You might say to your team, "Hey guys, I'm heading out now. See you tomorrow."
Heading out or taking off, those are very common. I'm going to take off now. Have a good evening. It's informal, friendly, and everyone knows you are leaving. And as you walk toward the door, you don't need a long, formal goodbye. A simple, "see you tomorrow," or "take care" is perfect.
And we can't forget about the best day of the week, Friday. Friday afternoon English is very special. Around 3 p.m. on a Friday, the small talk starts again. People ask, "Do you have any big plans for the weekend?" Or "Doing anything fun this weekend?"
Yes. And if someone asks you that, you can say, "Not much, just relaxing," or "I'm going away for a trip." And when you finally leave on a Friday, you say, "Have a great weekend, everyone. See you Monday."
See you Monday. That's the classic Friday exit. You know, Mr. J, we have covered a lot of real English today. We talked about arriving, coffee talk, meetings, collaboration, and now leaving.
We really have. And my advice to our listeners is this. Don't try to learn all these phrases in one day. Just pick one. Tomorrow, try saying, "How's it going?" to a coworker. The next day, try saying, "I'm wrapping things up."
That's great advice. Workplace English isn't about being a genius, it's about being a teammate. If you use these simple, natural phrases, people will find it very easy to talk to you. And remember, everyone makes mistakes. Even we make mistakes sometimes, right, Mr. J?
All the time, May, all the time. But that's how we learn. So, listeners, thank you for sticking with us through this long episode. We hope these 4 parts help you feel more at home in your office.
Yes, thank you so much for listening. We are so proud of you for practicing your English. Go out there and try one of these phrases today.
Well, I think it's time for us to follow our own advice. May, I'm just about finished here. Shall we call it a day?
Yes, let's call it a day. I'm heading out. See you next time, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day at work.